All right, all right. Welcome back to the Green Logbook. Good to have you back. Happy that everybody's here joining me on this glorious Saturday morning. Hopefully, it's glorious for you. It's not too bad outside for me. I know some folks live across the country, stuff like that, and yeah, they got some pretty bad weather out there. And we were talking to Boston Rob not too long ago, a couple days ago, and he lives over, of course, in Boston, and it's cold out there. So happy to have everybody back here with us. Let me open up the comments here really quick. And so today, the topic of the day here is, what is your 2026 mission? What is your 2026 mission? Okay. I do a lot of reflecting myself. I do a lot of writing, a lot of thinking. I got my thinking chair back there behind me. I don't know if you can see it, ma'am, but yeah, that thought came across my mind. Like, what do I want to do in 2026? How do I want to change things for the better in 2026? Um, every day I'm looking to do something a little bit better, if not for me, but also for my family, making sure that my family is in a good place. You know, pouring myself into my children and their knowledge. I want to show them as much as I can. I want to teach them what I wish I was taught when I was younger, and all the knowledge that I've acquired over a 20+ year career in the Marine Corps. After working in surface warfare afterwards, after being a federal employee and going to school and all that stuff, I want to pour that into them. So, yeah, the topic of the day: what is your 2026 mission? And I've got a little bit of a game plan here. So, if you first off, I'd like to ask you: do you have anything specific, folks in the comments, folks watching this, wherever, anything specific that you want to get into, start up, or what, or begin in 2026? Maybe a business, maybe you want to start working out, maybe you want to get your health and wellness in check, maybe you want to read a little bit more. Drop it in the comments here real quick. Hey, welcome back, Navy Cop. Always good to have you, brother. I got your email. Trust me, I'm going to respond there. We will work together on this, I promise. Navy Cop says, in between flooding rainstorms, dry today, but the floods are supposed to come back this week. Brother, I hope you are safe out there. It is no joke. Like I mentioned, I managed a building out in was it Bremerton, Washington, and they were dealing with floods all the time out there. So we had to kind of constantly get things going, and the emergency procedures started out there. Yak 352, welcome back, brother. Hey, rah back, like that. Well, no, I had to fill up my coffee cup, and I'm here now. So I just got out of another group. There's another veterans group that I attend, run by a retired Marine Master Sergeant, and a bunch of folks in there. A lot of other veterans who talk about their, what they got going on in life, and a couple of things that stood out to me here. When we kind of did like a little round robin, right? You go around the room, and my big thing, the thing that kind of was eye-opening to me when after I retired, after I left the military, was that I stopped following the money, right? That was a big thing, because I went on terminal leave, and immediately was trying to see how much can I make. It doesn't matter how long I have to work. Doesn't matter. I still put my family on the back burner, I felt like, and that was not right. So I started following my purpose. Part of my purpose here is my family first, right? After so many years in the military, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your family first. Then it was helping veterans, doing this whole veteran thing. I love doing this live stream. I love doing this whole veterans and coffee thing. So big thing. Another thing I learned was leaning into faith. I think I talked a little bit about it here on the channel. I'm not a very religious person, never really have been, but I found one of the missing pieces, and it could be yours as well. It was like I was getting my mental state in check, I was getting my physical state in check, and then I was wondering, what the hell am I missing here? There's something within me that I'm missing. And sure enough, I went for a run one morning, and we moved into this new place, passed by this little church behind some trees. It wasn't anything big. It was a small place. And I thought, you know what? Let me just try it out. Let me just try it out. And sure enough, it was where I needed to be. I fit in just right. It was like a puzzle piece. Bam! I found that missing piece. The puzzle was complete. I think, there's still more to fill in the back, but at least that piece was complete. And yeah, it feels good. It feels really good to be a part of something, almost like when you were in the military and you're serving for a purpose bigger than yourself. In this case, I'm serving for a purpose bigger than myself. And the coolest thing is that there is a whole veteran community within that faith community. So it's like I'm serving with them within that community, and then they're serving something else altogether. And another big thing was the whole social media thing, which I'm kind of getting away from. Took it all off my phone, and just that fear of missing out is huge. So taking that stuff off my plate, out of sight, out of mind. If it's not on my phone, I'm not going to be on it. So let me flip the page here real quick. Talk a little bit about it, and I'll put the link up on the live stream here. Whoever wants to jump on and talk about what they got going on for 2026, maybe your new mission in life. Here is the live stream link. I don't know if I'm spelling this thing right, man. It's hitting me here. Okay, the live stream link. All right, real quick, going to the comments. Navy Cop 2026 has to be better. I got another thanks for applying but email, trying to let it not affect me. But 2 years of this is really getting on my last nerve. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I submit myself. I submit resumes and stuff like that, and I get those emails all the time. Right. I mean, I had to believe that they're hiring internally. I don't know, but it is it does get irritating. It becomes a pain in the behind, man. I really do think that what is meant for you will come on your plate, brother. It's unfortunate that it's taken this long, but what's meant for you will come for you. Let me see, filling up your comments already. That's okay. Looking at getting small business up and running in the first of the year, possibly a podcast, joining the VA Move program to get fit and diet. My man, doing it. I love that for you, man. That's awesome. Let me see here. So a big thing that I want to touch on here, I have this whole thing written out here, so I'm going to go step by step here. So I'm going to mix in some identity and purpose, practical systems that you can get into, like not making it hard on yourself, but actually practical things that you can get into for 2026. And then there's like real life friction, right? The friction is like the pains and your limitations, right? Many of us have VA disabilities. Many of us have aches and pains. You have to work within those limitations. Time constraints. There's family time. There's motivation, and motivation's a strong word, and it's something I'm going to touch on here shortly, because motivation is not really what we think it is all the time. So I'm going to concentrate on my mission over my mood, right? I think for 2026, and I'll let you know why. My 2026 needs to have a why behind it. I don't know if we've all read. There's a book called "Start with Why" by Simon Sinek. Great book. And I need to start with why. I need to know why I'm doing something, similar to like when you get a mission in at least for me in the Marine Corps, you want to brief that mission all the way down to the PFC, right? You want to understand why they're doing something, the intent for it. So my personal mission, what am I building? Who am I becoming? Right. And I'd ask you the same thing in 2026. What do you want to build? Who do you want to become in 2026? Right. And it's just going back to it and thinking about it. It's kind of strange. Like we're putting a January 1st start date on it. It should start already, right? But we're putting a January 1st start date on it just for ease of it. But can you, and please comment in the comments here, can you in one sentence put your mission for 2026? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to build? What do you want to become? Who do you want to become? So I think Navy Cop, you put it the right way here, man. I think let me bring your comment back up here. You want to accomplish a small business. You want to run it in the first of the year. You want to possibly start a podcast. You join the VA Move program to get fit and diet. Let me ask you, brother, what's stopping you from going all in on the podcast? Get that podcast started, man. So when we were in the military, right, a lot of us have this thing where it's like it's hard to establish the mission because while you're in the military, the mission is assigned to you, right? You get it on, whatever, you get it briefed or whatever it is. You're in the field exercise, you get the mission. Now that you are out of uniform, I mean, many of us have been out for quite some time, right? Navy cop has been out for quite some time. Uh, I've been out for 2 years. I've been retired for 2 years now. Now that's on us. The mission is on us. We need to figure out what we're going to do on our own. We need to create that. It's not something that's given to us anymore, right? So we got to create that stuff, that structure. And we got to think about like what part of the military structure, because it was such a good life, right? At least for me, I knew what I had to do every day. I had my green logbook there. Everything was really structured. Like I knew what my mission was the next day. What do I miss about that? What do you miss about that? Do you miss the routine, the accountability, the identity? For me, I miss that routine, that battle rhythm, right? And I kind of need to incorporate that into my life because that's the best way I work. Is that the best way you work? And then what's one thing you can create daily? So this is a huge one. Okay. We have to create um, daily consistency. And then that's something that I found for myself, creating daily consistency. Is it a wake up time? Is it a workout slot? Is it like quiet time or like maybe you pray in the morning? Is it prayer time or something? Is it reading time? We have to create consistency. What I found worked for me is putting that in my calendar. Okay, like no crap. I'm going to be reading from this time to this time. No crap. This is family time, and I'm not going to deviate from that. If it's in my calendar, normally I will respect that. For like 9 times out of 10, unless something else comes into play, I'm going to respect that. So real quick, hey, if you're watching this, please comment. What years you served, what branch, um, where you're tuning in from. Like to know. Like YouTube doesn't give me any of this information. It just says that several people are watching. I don't know who who anybody is, but yeah, please feel free to comment in the comments. Who you are, what you're about, where you're coming from, what years you serve, branch service, et cetera, et cetera. So it really helped me out in kind of getting an idea. Let's see here. Navy cop. Motivation is my brick wall, but fear, a difficult four-letter word, and imposter syndrome. Yeah, yeah, I get you. Motivation. So the it is mine is too, right? It's hard to get up and running in the morning sometimes, right? That's my usual thing that I want to do. Get up in the morning, go do a workout, get some movement in, but it takes motivation, right? But we can replace that motivation because that's a tough word, right? When you think motivation, you think going all in, you think just lifting hard and sweating and then just like fast paced. I'm thinking mood. I'm thinking consistency. If we can get something in, I'm thinking consistency. I'm thinking doing something every day. It doesn't have to be for 30 minutes, an hour. It can be for 10 minutes at a time. It could easily be, hey, I'm just going to dedicate my time to starting or waking up at, whatever time it is to wake up at. And then maybe driving to the gym or going to do like a couple of push-ups or something, whatever the case may be, just have it on your calendar, make it a consistent thing every day. Uh, Let me see here. Eric's percussion. Hey, happy to have you, man. I'm driving my kids around just listening while I'm driving. Hey, I appreciate it, man. So Eric's percussion, man. He's my old deployment buddy there. Awesome to have you, bro. Good stuff. Yeah. We just recently met up not too long ago, and here in SoCal, and he was bringing his family over, and we just hung out a little bit, went out and got something to eat. Good to see you, man. After so many years, I appreciate it. But yeah, comment in the comments. What is your ambition for 2026, and how are you going to get that done? And if you feel compelled to, please consider jumping on the live stream to let me know what you got going on. Live stream link in the comments. I usually don't do the live streams on Saturdays, but I figure, Saturdays people got time off. They're not like at work or rushing or whatever it is. So, whatever the case may be, jump on the live stream. For me, and I'm curious to hear about all of you out there about your reading time. Okay, about reading, about getting knowledge in your brain, about expanding your horizons as far as reading. What are you all? Do you have like a reading list? Are you going to be reading something in 2026? I set a goal for myself of 12 books this coming year, to read. Whether or not I hit that goal, maybe I surpass that goal, whatever the case may be. All good. But I'm starting off with, well, I guess I'm finishing this guy here, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, awesome book. Goes into a lot. But I put up on a post here. I also purchased, and they just came in, Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power and Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. Okay, these are two books that are highly recommended on Amazon, highly recommended on Goodreads and stuff like that. They got high ratings, so I figured, there's something that's got to be good about it. I've heard good things about it. I know that the 48 Laws of Power is like banned at prisons, and I'm like, okay, I want to know why, right? So that's on my list for 2026. Curious what you've got on your list for 2026. Let's see here. Going back to my notes here. All right, let's touch on health and wellness. Okay, health and wellness is another one. Okay. What is your real health mission? Is it weight? Is it strength? Is it pain reduction, mobility, blood pressure, mental health, energy? Just give me a second here. All right, back at it. Yeah, health and wellness. So, what's your biggest barrier? Is it time? Is it pain, motivation, food, stress, sleep? Sleep is huge, right? I know I've touched on it a little bit. Folks who have trouble sleeping, you can request a uh, a a custom pillow from Medcline through the VA. So it's free through the VA. Try it out. Let's see, Navy cop. I need to do that. I used to be a voracious reader, but it dropped off many years ago, and I have found that I just don't, with video taking over instead. The media trap, yes, sir. You got to get rid of that. Mr. John, good morrow to you, young sir. You're on mute. I see your lips moving.
How about now? Is that better?
There he goes. There he goes. Good to have you, man. Yeah, so a day early from the Military Retirement Podcast, but I figured, man, I like to do this on Saturdays because there's a larger group of folks who are not working. You're not working, so that's good.
That's right.
I got some time right now. No little league practice or anything like that with the kids, so at least that ended for the time being. I got some time here. But John, man, you and I sat in on a veterans connection earlier today, right? It was probably about 20 veterans on there talking about what they got going on, their azimuth, right? Where they're headed to next. And this past week, it was funny because I just found out about that. I like Pedro sent me a link on it, the guy that runs it. And this past week, I was thinking about my 2026 plans and mission and all that, like what I want to get into. And I've been writing a lot about it. I've been reading a lot about it, and it kind of worked out really well hearing what folks are doing there versus what we've got here, what we've got going on here today, and a lot of things to focus on, man, like identity and purpose, practical systems. I say practical because so many times I've been overwhelming myself with, okay, got to hit the gym for an hour, got to hit, got to do this, right? I put a time frame on things, and it feels overwhelming, so I end up not doing it. So it's like Navy Cop mentioned, like he's got an issue with like the motivation piece, right? Just starting out for like maybe 10 minutes at a time, small wins, and then they equal bigger ones. So that's one thing I'm touching on this morning, touching on real life frictions that we encounter, like the pains. A lot of folks have VA disability ratings and pains and stuff like that. Just kind of working through that. Now, we're not medical. I'm not a medical officer. I don't know if you got your medical degree since I last talked to you 2 weeks ago.
Nope, not yet.
But we got to work through our limitations. Or within our limitations, we got time constraints, we got family time, and then we have that motivation. And that motivation piece is a tough one to get over, because motivation is when I hear somebody say, "Hey, motivation," I immediately think waking up at 5:30, zero dark 30 in the morning, going out for a 3-mile run or a 20-mile, march, motivated, somebody yelling in my face, motivated. No, so that doesn't, the word motivation does not motivate me, man, to be honest. It's like, I got to have consistency. That's what motivates me, like just a little bit every day. And that's how you see results.
Yeah, I mean, motivation's a funny thing, and I myself personally, I know you've been thinking about this, and I'm glad you brought me in on the VCC call. I appreciate that. That's really
Yeah, absolutely.
been trying to get in there for a while, and just haven't had the link and haven't had the scheduling to get in there. But I did notice a few people talking about like paying attention to the losses and the defeats and the roadblocks versus actually giving themselves credit and giving themselves a little compassion about the wins that they've had, right? Even if it's
Yeah.
small wins. And I feel like motivation runs in that same vein where you got to kind of like, if you're focused on the things that are blocking you from doing things, and it's too hard because of XYZ, like you need to figure out like, okay, it's too hard because of XYZ. What would make it look easy? Like what could I do if it were really, really easy? And usually, like you just mentioned, like do it for 1 minute, do it for 10 minutes, and then be done with it and be happy with that, right? And being able to be happy with that 10-minute win versus being upset about not getting in the 1 hour that you wanted to do. I think that really is a big part of it. And then the other part of it, like I told my wife this, I slept in a little bit this morning. We had
How
to get
dare
up,
you?
How
dare you?
it happens. I usually get up at 6 every morning, right around 6:15,
Yeah.
6:30, something like that. And we had an appointment to be at like before 7 or right at 7. And she usually doesn't get up very early for that kind of stuff unless it's some kind of appointment. And I actually stayed in bed this morning and just let the alarm go off and got up with her and slowed down my tempo to match her tempo. And she was like, wow, you slept in. And I was like, that's me on a bad day. That's me
Yeah.
on a really
Yeah.
bad day when I sleep in past the alarm clock and stuff like that. But I think you just have to give yourself a lot of grace and understand that the human mind, the way it works is we plan things and we block things off in time increments that are unrealistic to reality, right? So if we say it's going to take 2 hours to do something, we're looking at best case scenario, nothing goes wrong, there's no glitches. And the reality of it is things come up, the dog accidentally pees on the floor and you got to stop and clean that up. A dish falls and it breaks, and you got to clean that up. You know, the toilet gets stopped. Like things happen that jump
Yeah.
in the way that you're not expecting, you're not calculating for. And I think if we calculate it a little bit better, give ourselves some grace and give ourselves a little bit more timeline to be able to do things, but not so much where you are lazy about it, right?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because that actually did happen. The dog did pee on the floor, and I had to clean it up this morning. So
See,
I walk in and I'm setting everything up. I'm like, "What the hell is this spot here?" And I got this like vintage kind of rug, which
Yeah.
kind of pissed me off, but
no pun
it is what
intended.
it is. What's that?
No pun intended.
No pun intended, right? But yeah, it's about appreciating. One thing of note I took was take time to appreciate what you've done already. All right, so much, so often. I'm hard on myself, and I'm sure there's people out there who are hard on themselves, like because we compare each other. I think to others, right? We're so inundated in social media. We're so like immersed in that and seeing what other people are doing that we compare ourselves. And what's the saying? Comparison is the killer of I forgot the name of the saying.
Creativity,
Creativity. There you go. So
I think.
I think something like that, but it's all right to stop and like kind of pat yourself on the back, man. Hey, I got up at 5:30 this morning, or I got up at 6 in the morning, or whatever. I personally like to get up at 5:30 because I'm up usually before anybody else in my house is. I like that quiet time. But now my kid is like, he found out, uh, well, he found the joys of waking up early. And so now he's up before I am. Now he's setting his alarm for 4:30 in the morning so he can have that quiet time before I have my quiet time. And I'm like, I don't like to see the TV on in the morning. I don't like any of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I had the Alexa turn on the soft lights at 5:30. So when I'm up, I walk into a room with soft white lights, right? So um, small wins. Appreciate what you've done already. Hey, I took my first, class with post 9/11 GI Bill or whatever it is. Appreciate that. You've already done that. Or I woke up this morning early. Appreciate that. The small wins. And I think so much we're hard on ourselves. Real quick, want to go to the comments here. Patrick Fox 3131. Thank you for joining us, man. Discipline over motivation. Absolutely, man. Consistency is key. Be disciplined enough for that. I like that. Real quick, Eric's percussion. So Eric is my old deployment buddy from back in the day. He says I'm on a mental health journey on the positive side of it right now. Last year, I ended up taking 6 weeks off work because I had a breakdown. It was just before I came out to see you. I didn't recognize it myself. I had to have people around me kind of tell me where there was something wrong. Now I got some meds. I had a psychologist that I worked with that specialized in the mental health of first responders. Just finished my last session with him just last week. That was nearly a year. Nearly a year. Well, damn. Eric, hey, always feel free to reach out to me, man, if you need something. I'm here. So yeah, unfortunately, a lot of us don't recognize that stuff about ourselves, and it takes for folks around us to kind of recognize that. And that's if you got a tight group around you that can help you out, they can tell you straight up, like, hey, is something going on, or ask you those questions. All the better. All the better. I'm glad you got the help you needed there, Eric. I really am. And Navy Cop just corrected me. Comparison is thief of joy. It is. It is, man. And I think it's been robbing my joy for so long, dude, because I've been comparing myself, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get the workouts in, and I'm not a bodybuilder or anything like that, but I mean, I see these folks working out. I'm like, man, how do I get that? How do I get this? And I'm like, I got to be real with myself. Like, do I really want to put in the time and the effort for that, or do I really just want to be healthy? Like, I don't want to be eating dry. I've done that before. Like, I've worked out hard before. And it was like dry chicken and rice, because you make it for the week. And, it sucked. I'm like, do I want that anymore? That's
Yeah.
not my goal. That's not my mission. I don't want to have 10% or whatever, 8% body fat or whatever the hell it is. I'm okay with just knowing that I'm going to live another year
Yeah.
and be somewhat healthy, right? Go out for a walk or something like that.
And
Good
be
afternoon to you.
sustainable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, veteran broken. Good to have you here again, man. Yeah, it has to be sustainable, dude. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with a walk in the morning as long as it's a consistent thing, right? Where I tend to fall off is when I start seeing results. Like when I start working out, I remember so clearly, man. I was working out like a freaking monster when I was like a sergeant, staff sergeant, right? And I was like lean and ripped. I had the six pack. I had everything I wanted, right? But I'm like, I started seeing the results, and I started, backing up off it. Oh, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Let me go eat that cheesecake or whatever. Let me just not work out. It's okay if I miss a day here, miss a day there, and it started building upon itself. And then, sure enough, I became this freaking this fat body. We it's what we call in the Marine Corps the fat body, right? I even got the here, let me see here the fat body award. I was a fat body, when I deployed because I was a fat body. I mean, I know Eric's Percussion remembers that award when they gave it out. Some good comments here today, man. Good group of folks. Thank you all for joining on the conversation with John and I, Veterans and Coffee. And yeah, today is all about what is your 2026 mission. And we got Veteran Broken here plugging away on Y School. I don't know what that is.
I don't know
On
what West
school.
is.
I have a bunch of other veterans in the class too, both young and old. Isn't that funny when you go to school after you leave the service? You're like the old guy. I went to the university here recently to go check it out just to ask questions. And everybody's like my daughter's age, like 21, 20, and
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't find the place, like the admin building. So I stopped and asked like this group of like young folks. I'm like, excuse me, they're youngsters. Do you know where I can find the admin building? And they're like, oh yeah, dude, it's over there, just like chillax, But yeah, I'm like, man, I hope that I don't have, it's a graduate program. So I'm sure I wouldn't have like 18-year-olds in the class, but it's just kind of weird to be within that and knowing that I don't feel like I'm in my 40s, but damn sure look like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I enjoy it because of the fact that I can offer sound advice and not be all crazy about it. And people are like, wow, how did you think about that? Or where'd you come up with that? I'm like, it's just, something I do. Come up with
It's lived
solutions.
experience, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. One thing that I picked up from that meeting earlier today, man, was this dude talking about um, it's okay to let go of people who don't care about you.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. is.
That's big. That's huge for 2026. I don't have social media on my phone anymore. I've got it on. I got to log in if I want to go on Facebook. I got to log into it from a desktop, right? And every so often, I find myself like just going through that friends list. And it's a funny thing because it says friends list, right? But it's
Yep.
like, how well, if you pass one of these people on the street, would you even recognize them? Would they come up and say hi to you? You know, I don't know. I'm willing to say probably not, especially the ones who just happen to like your post and wanted to be your friend or whatever. Um, so I find myself just kind of deleting people. My friends list went from like, I don't know, 600 to now 400. It's going down even more. And honestly, I don't even know why I have the damn thing. If it wasn't for like the Green Logbook or Military Retirement Podcast or Undercover Clip, I don't know why I'd have it. I just really need Messenger or something.
Yep.
But yeah, kind of setting those boundaries, like Veteran Broken said, and just getting rid of those people, like separating yourself from people who are not out for your best interests, not looking out for your best interests. Family, it's all about family first for me. It's all about a tight, close community of friends. I've never had more than like 4 or 5 friends at a time, like close friends, and I plan on keeping it like that. So you got to really watch out for number one, because folks who are toxic and want to get into your life, they're not going to do you any good.
Yeah.
I've gotten rid
Yeah.
of a ton of folks like that.
Yeah, and then also there's probably in a lot of cases family members that fall into that same kind of category, and they're people that you can't necessarily just cut off out of your life because they are your family.
Yeah,
But you can step back, you can take a break, you can put some
absolutely.
distance between yourself and them. Like keep it cordial, keep it family, but also understand like if you spend too much time around them, if you listen to their droning on or spiraling out of control on certain topics, especially around holiday parties and family gatherings. I hear a lot of, I don't personally see a lot of that with my family, but a lot of people get into a lot of political debates and debates about ideology and things like that,
Yeah,
and you just kind of gotta shrug it off and laugh it off and kind of step back and give yourself some space from that kind of stuff too as well.
yeah, or maybe even having an honest, assessment or conversation with them.
Yeah.
Hey, I've not really ever told anybody, hey, look, I need to take a break from you because you are toxic in my life. I've never said that to anybody. But, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit wiser, right? At least I feel like it. And, I've given less. I care about what I say, but I've almost like not cared about how I said it, because I'm like, whatever, however it comes out, it comes out. Um, but I remain cognizant of all those things. But I think in for the next year, for 2026, I'm going to be a little bit more. How can I put it? Honest with people when it comes to that, right? Like, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings or anything like that, but this is how I feel. You're not good for me in my life, and I need to kind of separate myself from you. Simple as that. And nothing against them. It's just I know what I want to surround myself with, and it might come off harsh. It sounds harsh when I say it right now, and maybe I need to work on that a little bit. But you're shitty for me. I don't like you anymore. No, not like that. It's a matter of just kind of separating myself a little bit and surrounding myself with people who will build me up, who
Yeah.
will be there for me, and I will be there for them, right? Just kind of like building on each other. So it's just a matter of recognizing that, I think.
Yeah, and even in a lot of those cases, I don't even think it even requires you to directly tell somebody if somebody's a jerk or whatever. Like if you're not giving them the attention that they want, then they're eventually gonna stop trying to bug
Yeah.
you for attention, right?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely, man. There was, it, what was it? There was a time when this dude had mentioned something to me. We were in a group setting. It was at a neighbor's house, and it was like the base housing, right? So it's like everybody kind of
Mm.
knew each other on the street and all that. And this dude was kind of drunk, and he mentioned something to me, and it was kind of a little off, right? And I just didn't pay any attention to the dude. He kept asking questions. I just like continued speaking to other people, and other people that were in the group kind of picked up on it
Yeah.
too. I was like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have said that. And for me, not wanting to get in trouble, having come from the military justice world, I knew what the result of my actions would have been right then and there. So, you got to keep a cool head sometimes. But we just kind of ignored him, and he just kind of went away. So I think that's exactly what you're talking about. Is just you don't have to have those tough conversations sometimes. Sometimes maybe just ignoring the folks, and they kind of get the idea, and they'll kind
Yeah.
of remove themselves from your life or the situation.
I mean, you know, a great place to practice that is actually just driving in the car. Like, I'm sure, like any regular person experiences moments of different gradients of road rage, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
just practicing in the car of letting shit go, right? Like
Yeah.
somebody cut you off, okay, cool, whatever. You know, just smiling at it, having a different reaction to it. That practicing that in and of itself
Right.
translates to all kinds of other situations.
I like it. Control what you can control. Let go of the things you can't.
Right.
Right. Dude, the amount of times that I get that feeling when I'm driving, especially here in like California, dude, it's insane.
Yeah.
They have like the rolling stop, like nobody really stops, right? And sometimes like I'll be crossing the street myself, and I'm like, I wish this MFer would try to. I wish, I would jump on his hood, and but it's a bad way of thinking. I know. My wife scolds me on it all the time. Like, hey,
Well, not
you got to be careful.
not only that, like at the end of the day, like the person that you're yelling at or screaming at because of what they did, they don't care. Like they just continue on with their life. They might not even
Yeah.
notice you were there in the first place.
So, dude, like it's hard to let that stuff go sometimes, right? I was at the post office yesterday. This was just yesterday, and I was dropping off a package, and the line was long. And then as you're in line, there's another like a automatic machine right there that'll print you out some stuff. You just gotta scan it. And there was this guy, younger dude, right? He's scanning his stuff, whatever. And this old lady behind him, she was kind of waiting. She had her cane and all that stuff. And this dude scans his thing, goes and does his transaction. I'm standing right there in line, right there. I'm watching all this, and it prints him out this long receipt, and the receipt, cuts off and it falls on the floor. And then the old lady is like, "Sir, you forgot the guy's already walking away." He's like, "Sir, you forgot your receipt." And he turns around. He's like, "Oh yeah, I don't need it. It was like $2 anyway." And he just continues walking. So the old lady bends down and goes to pick it up, and the guy comes back because he forgot like some letter on the table or something like that. And I just had to mention, I couldn't just sit there and just let that happen. I'm like, "Sir, this is your trash. You like take care of your own shit," in nicer words than that, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, whatever, just walked away. But the old lady was like, "Thank you," and cool, right? But I'm like, man, it might be like the whole military discipline versus just civilian thing, I think. But I thought about it. I'm like, I was like heated about it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't let that shit control me, right?
Boiling.
Boy, dude. Because I saw
Over a piece of paper.
Yeah, before the old lady was already bending down to pick it up. I was gonna offer, but she had already, gotten down low enough to pick it up herself or whatever. So, and I'm thinking this piece of shit, take care of your own trash, dude.
Yeah.
Don't leave it there for somebody else. It just got to me, man. And I had to let it go. I told my wife about it, and she's like, "Yeah, dude, let it go,
Chill.
man. It ain't your problem."
Chill, bro.
Dude, heated, man.
And you were a third person in that whole altercation. Like you were a third person observer in that altercation.
I was just observing at this dude's like crappy behavior, right? And the thing is, like, I can't let stuff like that go sometimes. Like I have to say something, like, "Hey, dude, you almost hit me at that stop sign when you rolled through it at the Sprouts parking lot." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Dude, did you not? There's a stop sign, bro." So it's crazy. Man, we got Joe coming in on the chat. Let's see, Joe, what's going on with you, man?
Bro, we're like twins. It's like I would. Man. This morning I took the trash out and some dude swerved like right up. I'm like, I wish you would hit me. I swear to Christ.
Sometimes we think that, and it's like, man, it's afterwards it's like, it's not that bad. But at that moment in time, it's like it consumes the world, right?
Dude, I was like, bro, if you hit me, I'm just literally gonna hit the concrete and be like, "Oh, my neck and my back."
I want 150,000.
Well,
It
it's a
was
good
so
thing that
funny
didn't
though,
happen,
because I
man.
was like, you know what? You just got to let it go.
Yeah.
You just got to let it go. We don't have no
Yeah.
patience. We really don't.
No, we don't. And that's the problem is patience is the key, man. And that's another good thing I'll put on my list for 2026, man, is having some patience with people. Because so much I'm constantly on the go. Like, hey, why is this guy driving so slow? I was just at Disney. Why are these people all over the place and not in the freaking line?
Mhm.
So patience is key, man. And I have none of it. So that's something I definitely need to work on. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it was hard for me to like just. I got that let go and let God mentality. I'm like, God help
Yeah.
them. God
Yeah.
help them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's karma will find its place somewhere.
It's crazy because like the mentality of the younger generation right now, you're going, bro, you're our future. What is wrong with you?
Right. Our future, everything, right? Lawmakers, future presidents, future everything.
Yeah.
And, doctors, lawyers, all that stuff. And you're wondering, where the hell is this going?
Oh yeah,
And
because I looked at one of them the other day and I'm like, bro, there's no way you're operating on me. Absolutely no way. I'm like,
yeah,
I
it's
would rather
crazy.
keep the disease than have you operate on me.
You got this bulging cyst in your neck.
Yeah. Be like, just leave it. It's okay. It's a third head. I'm fine.
Oh man. So curious, man. What else you got going on for 2026, man? Like you seem like a good dude, right? Like we talked a little bit about last time on our last live stream. What else you got going on? I mean, you're over in Georgia, right?
Yeah, I'm like going into week 2 on cybersecurity, and that guy, I created a Discord group to bring some of these guys in. I'm like, look, man, because some of these younger veterans, man, they got caught up in the whole political psyop thing, and I'm like, bro, relax. It's okay. The world's not coming to an end. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's just too much for some of these younger veterans. I'm like, look, man. I'm like, you've got to stop watching the news
Mm-hmm.
and
First
just
and
live your
foremost.
life. I'm like, because you're getting caught up in stuff that you don't even belong in. I'm like, are you a armchair politician?
Yeah. And I think you mentioned it last time, right? I think it was you that you're saying all this stuff that's going on the news is concentrated in this like square mileage on the
Of
East
Washington
Coast, Upper East
D.C. And
Coast
I'm
of
like,
Washington, D.C., right? Of the
yeah,
country. And then you look outside, neighbors walking the dog, neighbors
right.
cutting his grass.
Nobody
Things
gives
are
a shit.
okay here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good here, man. I go out there and cut my grass and and just enjoy the day. If it's warm outside, if it's cold outside, I stay inside. I'm like,
Yeah. That's
I'm
it.
like,
That's it.
you've gotta detach from the military mentality, and it's so hard because it's like you want everything a certain way, you want everything in order, dude. It's like being in boot camp again. You have people come to your house. Why did you make that mess? You got to just let go. I'm like, look, man, you made a mess, no big deal. I got a mop. Let's clean it up and we'll keep moving.
That's it. That's it.
Because there's
Can't
two,
be mad
like
over
I got
nothing.
caught up in that sauce, and I'm not even gonna lie. And when I did, I was like, the world's coming to an end. And then I was like, you know what? Nobody can predict that. I got to move forward. I got to, keep pushing forward.
Yeah. And there's no shortage of it online either, on like YouTube and all that.
Oh man.
Because I was watching that stuff for a while, like all the political stuff. And then that stuff consumes your homepage, right? It just
Oh,
like
it
the
is.
algorithm finds out what you're watching. They're like, hey, we'll give you more of this, more of this, more of this. And they stack it onto your homepage. And I'm like, I need to take a break
No.
from that so
Yeah.
that I start watching other
I
stuff. Yeah.
learned that with most social media.
Yep.
Like TikTok and all that. I was like, bro, I'm not doing social media. I don't care about it. If I want to talk to you, I'll pick up the phone and call you. If I don't want to talk to you, I'm not going to answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Very
I've
true.
gotten to that point on my phone, like with all these spam calls and stuff, I don't answer none of them. I'm like, if you're not on my contact list, I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it. I
Best
got people
policy.
trying to sell me new mortgage rates and all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't need
Yeah,
this,
I'm like,
man.
no, if I wanted a new mortgage rate, I would have called you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So one thing is like if I don't pick up, sometimes I don't know the number and it's like the VA. So I'm like, I got to make
Yeah.
sure that I pick up those calls, right? And then one of these mortgage companies are like, "Hey, yeah, this is the VA calling about your mortgage rate." I'm like,
No, you're not.
You're with the VA?" They're like, "Well, we're with so and so mortgage company. We'll work with the VA." I was like, "Nah, not interested." So you got to be careful how they pass themselves off
Oh
as,
yeah, because they'll quickly like get you into a loan and then steal your freaking house and all that stuff. I'm like, no, I'm good, bro. I know
yeah,
my mortgage company, they're good.
yeah, exactly, man.
That's what I told
The,
somebody the other day. I said, I bought this house with that mortgage company. I'm sticking with that mortgage company. They know how to lower the rates just like you do.
yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
So what do you got? You got any like physical plans, like workout plans or anything like that for 2026?
man, believe it or not, I go out, like I put on my knee braces because I got double knee replacement. And
That's right. You mentioned, yeah.
I walk down the block, all the way to the end of the street and back. I'm constantly like, I don't sit here in front of this
Movement.
computer because I know that once I get into this field,
Hmm.
when I clock out, that monitor's going off and I won't look at that computer till I clock back in.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, dude, like there's so many people that are on YouTube and social media and all these apps that are so toxic. And I'm going, you need
Yeah.
help. I'm like, do you have a mental health appointment today? I'm just
Mm.
checking on you, bro. Just checking on a friend,
Yeah, you got to be careful with that because you're going cybersecurity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be very sedentary. You're
Yeah.
sitting
See, my
down.
thing is I'm going to pick up. I'm not going because everybody's like in the class is like, oh, I'm going to go back and work for the government. I said, I'm not. I'm staying on the
Yep.
civilian side because civilian people are a lot dumber than military people. I said, and you just got to point them in the right direction. I'm like, you'll get calls for somebody just ran over the power cord and unplugged the computer. You just got to go in there and plug it back in. I'm like, no big
That's
deal.
it. That's it. Or restart the machine. The
Yeah,
amount
I'm
of
like,
times that
dude,
I've been
just
called for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because one of the guys in my class, he sent me a picture of the ethical hacking thing. I said, look, until you get your certification, do not open that book. I'm like,
Mm.
because if you jump into that door without having your certification, that's a door you can't unclose.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm like, because next thing you know, you'll have a knock knock on your front door and it'll be one of the alphabet squad. I'm like,
Yep.
okay.
You're like, sir, we need to confiscate your computer, please.
Yeah. I'll be like, this is CID. I'll be like, nope.
No, hell no. Hell
Nope.
no, man.
I'm like, you take these one class at a time. I said, and when you get to that point and you get that certificate, when you stack all four of them, because they didn't understand how the certificates work too. Because I'm like,
Hmm.
A plus literally gives you 6 months worth of experience. Each one of them does the same thing. I said, and when you stack them, you've got 2 years worth of experience right there. But I'm like, don't jump into that stuff unless you're ready, bro, because that's a rabbit hole you don't want to be in.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that, man. I'm staying away from that.
I'm
I'm
like,
telling
you
you.
got to be well, the thing is like I tell people, I'm like, cybersecurity is easy because the thing is a lot of people get on the internet and do dumb stuff. I'm like, and when you do dumb stuff, you get caught. Like your IP address is everything. I was like, dude, that's like I can tell you what room of your house you're in.
Yeah. So there's a show I was watching. I don't know if it was documentary. I think it was something about it was on Netflix, something about kittens, like killing kittens or something like that.
Yeah,
I
man.
forgot the name of the thing, but they were finding these people via things in their house. Like, oh, and they were like
Yep.
zoom in on it. And they're like, oh yeah, I saw this thing, and they only sell it in this area of the world. And
Mhm.
they zoned in they honed in on this one specific area. They were able to find these people that were doing this crazy crap online. I forgot the
Yeah,
name of
bro.
it.
I tell you the craziest one is whenever you get a chance and you're just chilling, look up Sean Ryan and go to one of the episodes on his podcast. He's got a dude that does the computer thing.
Yeah.
Bro, you talk about super geek. This guy's got stuff that plugs into your light bulbs and everything. I'm like, oh no, stay out of my house.
Yeah, for real, man. For real.
Well, they're
That's some
talking
scary
about
stuff, man.
now all the what is it? The freaking Oh, those,
Like surveillance
yeah, like the
with the Alexa and all that.
yes, the Alexa can pinpoint where you're at in your house. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
So
I'm like, bro,
I
I
have
don't do
one of
none of that
those.
stuff. I hate smart homes. I said, I'm a dummy. I'm one of those mentalities that keep it simple, stupid. I'm like,
So
look, if
there,
I want to go to the refrigerator, I don't want a refrigerator that streams YouTube on it.
No.
I've seen that. Yeah, they have like
Yeah,
a
it's
TV on the
weird.
fridge and all that. Yeah. So I have an Alexa, and it took me a long time to get one because I only wanted to automate the house, right? But then it would like randomly like say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't catch that," or "I didn't hear that," or whatever. I'm like, "Well, I wasn't fucking talking to you. Like, what are you talking about?" You know?
Oh, I was in
And
my
it's
truck yesterday, and it's got Google in it.
yeah, yeah.
and then she was like, keep your comments correct. I was like, fuck you. I said, I talk how I want. What are you talking about? I couldn't
Man.
believe it though. I was like, I just got scolded by a computer.
Yeah, by your truck, dude.
I'm like, shut, man. I will uninstall you, dude. When I had my first Alexa, I'm not even gonna lie. I unplugged it and put it in the box, and it hasn't come out of the closet.
Oh man.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
I'm
has a
good with
little
that.
it's got the little slider for the camera, right?
Yeah,
And when we leave the house, like when we go on vacation, stuff like that, I'll keep it on, right? To see
close
like
it.
how the
Yep.
pets are doing, all that stuff. But during the day, like while I'm in there, I'll close that trash.
You'd be like,
Like I don't
no,
know.
you're
Yeah,
not watching
no,
me.
exactly. And I don't know how folks like I've seen stuff on YouTube and all that. I don't know how folks have like the Ring cameras and it's facing the inside of like their family room or their bedroom. I don't know how it's like. Why would you want that? For
Right.
security reasons, I don't know, but why would you want a camera watching you inside while you're watching TV with your family? I don't know.
Well, it's like my security system on my house. I got the doorbell camera. I got, 3 cameras
Mhm.
around the outside. But on the inside, it's all motion sensors. I'm like, but why would you need a motion sensor in your house if you're in there?
I don't know. By the doors,
I'm like,
maybe, but
bro, my dog would set that thing off all day.
yeah, mine would too. Jumping around, running around. Yeah.
Yeah, like my dog is crazy. I mean, like it's like he's like 2 years old. I'm like, man, he would be like hypersensitive, setting off everything in the house. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, I just need the outside surveillance. Other than that, I'm like, I'm not worried about the rest of it. I was like, inside,
Yeah.
if you get in the house through those cameras and don't set the alarm off,
Mhm.
that's on the alarm company. I'm like, because it automatically calls the police.
Yeah.
I'm like, so why are
Yeah.
you worried about the inside? I'm like, dude, they would have to be like a ninja to get past that camera.
For real. Yeah. I remember setting my damn alarm. You know when you had the those alarm with before Ring, you had those alarm companies. And you had to set like a pin with them and all that. They call you up and all that. They still got them today, but I remember I told my kid, I'm like, hey, when you come home from school, because I'd still be at work, plug in this code. And he was small, right? His school was right across the street. And I found this dude on his notebook. He would just be writing down the code. It was like all over his notebook. And he would like he's like, oh, I told my teacher the code. I'm like, hey, dude, don't be doing that. I
Yeah,
had to talk to him about that. I was like, hey, some things we don't tell people, man. Like you
right.
don't write the code on. Yeah, but I mean, I'm like, he was like 5, right? So I'm like, I had to kind of talk to him a little bit about that.
Be
Yeah,
like, that's a secret.
that's a secret. Yeah, he was like, he wrote it in Sharpie on the wall. I'm like, cool,
Oh
but
my
don't do
God.
that though.
He's like, well, I guess I got to change that code.
Mhm. Yeah, I started to forget the code. You know, I was like, I changed so
Yeah.
many times.
Well, it's neat, dude, because like some of these guys in this class, like they're like, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And I'm like, bro, we got so many breaks. It's insane. I'm like, relax. I'm like,
Yeah,
the first 2 days, they like inundate you with all this information. And I'm like, but you got a 3-day weekend coming up. You can study. I'm
yeah,
like,
there
that
you
makes
go.
too much like sense, right? And then
Right.
we got the Christmas break, which is the 22nd to the 28th. I'm like, dude, you should be at least 3 days ahead of class by the time you come back. I'm like, quit
Yeah, I
worrying
mean,
about it.
are these folks working like a full-time job on top of that or what?
Some of them aren't. Some of them
Mhm.
are, some of them aren't. I'm like, but I actually met a guy in class that's actually going to come to my house because he doesn't understand it. He lives in Georgia. I'm like,
Mhm.
bro, you can come down here anytime and I'll open my computer up and you can look at the inside of it so you can identify the parts. I'm like, I used to do this.
Yeah.
You know, I was a network manager at one time. I'm like, this stuff is not hard. I was like, it's paint by numbers when you can actually see it. I said, just looking at a screen and looking at it, it's different. But when you can
Mhm.
actually put hands on it, I'm like, dude, you'll grasp it. And then I was like, most of the stuff that you're learning at the beginning will come back, and then you'll learn more. I'm
Yeah.
like, and you'll remember it. They're like, but I got TBIs. I was like, trust me, when you put your hands on the inside of a computer, you won't forget it.
Unless you got hands like potatoes.
Right, true.
It's like,
I'm like, don't stick your hand in the fan. The bottom of the
oh, hell
pot
no.
is hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
I seen that video and almost cried when that lady was handing her kid that pot. She goes, the bottom of the pot is hot. And the kid reached underneath. The
Oh,
bottom
man.
of the pot is hot.
Yeah. You learn
She
real
goes,
quick.
the fucking bottom of the pot is hot. I was like,
Yeah.
oh
You
my
learn real quick, man. Just like I learned real quick not to stretch under the freaking fan in the morning.
dude, for real. You know, me being 6'6", bro, I hit that fan and I'm like, oh God, that was brutal.
You don't even got to get a haircut anymore. Just
Right?
right off the
But
top.
yeah, everything's going good with the class. It's you can tell the instructors are just basically pointing us in the direction for the information. But I'm like, I said, look, man, we'll have study sessions on Discord. I said, relax.
Yeah.
I said, bro, if I got to pull my camera off the top of my monitor and put it under my desk so you can see the inside of the computer and identify the parts, we'll do that. I said, I'm not going to leave anybody behind. I said, because, you know, I've been through these classes before. Because, you know, they're all freaking out. They see all these codes and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, it's not like that in the real world. Relax.
Yeah. You know what to expect, right? You know what to expect.
Yeah. Because I was explaining to him like about switches and stuff. I'm like, all those scripts for switches, I said, they're saved on a flash drive, bro. You don't got to type all that stuff out. Relax.
Right.
I'm like, you just plug it in, upload it, unplug it, and walk away, and you're done.
Yeah. People they don't realize that it's not going to be the same thing, right?
No,
When you
it's
get out to
just
the real world.
yeah, because you know, this is a classroom situation. I'm like, you know,
Yeah,
it's
they're going to show
nice.
you everything.
Yeah, I said they're just inundating you with information, and you got to pick and choose what you need.
Exactly. Exactly.
These guys are funny though, bro. I was some of these guys, I'm crying, laughing at them. I'm like, oh my God. And then we'll be in class, and you can tell that the two instructors have ADHD because they're squirreling all over the place. And we're talking in the background
best kind.
on yeah, we're talking in the background on Discord. And bro, I have to literally like lean away from the camera because I'm crying, laughing at them. I'm like, oh my God.
Just going from one topic to a next, right? It's like,
Yeah,
hey, can you stay on
like
track there?
well, he's from South Carolina, you know, and he's one of those old country boy South Carolina mentality, like a fly on a dog's butt. And I'm like,
He's teaching computer stuff.
yes.
Oh man.
I was crying. And then we have some people in this classroom that you know that wasn't going to make it. I knew right away on the first day, one of the guys in there, he was a younger Marine. And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to talk about him or anything, but this dude tried to hit on one of the girls in the class. And I'm like, bro, this is a professional situation. What are you doing? I'm like, what are you actually doing?
You ain't gonna make it. Just shoot
Yeah,
him a
dude, he
quick
didn't come
email.
back.
Don't even identify yourself. Just you ain't gonna make it.
No.
Quick email.
Oh, hold on. I'll be right back. That's my computer showing up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll bring you back in here in a few.
Speaking of ring cams.
Yeah, man. That dude's a trip, man. He's always a good time, man. I think Veteran Broken is his name on there. Shout out to Kyle Macy Maines, my boy. He's also one of my deployment buddies from back in the day. Yeah, so he runs a gaming channel and still active duty. Awesome. Chief Warrant Officer 3, I think. 3. Awesome. Navy cop real quick. The most fun, a few years ago, they found that they could track fitness watches and could use that info to map military bases based on the heat map usage. Ain't that some crap, man? Like you can get into some crazy stuff with that. I always wondered. Years ago, I bought a DJI drone,
Mhm.
and then they require you to turn on location settings and do all this stuff on there. And then later on, I was reading that they use all that stuff, just to kind of make their maps better or whatever.
Yep.
Chinese company, right? They make some awesome stuff, like some great stuff. I have, the DJI Osmo 3, like cameras as far as that. They do some awesome stuff. But it kind of seemed a little strange to me that they wanted me to turn on location settings for a drone while it's flying around and all that. I didn't keep that drone for very long. So yeah, it wasn't for me, man.
Yeah. I mean, some of that stuff, plus you have to register it with the FCC if it's over like 249 grams and all that stuff. But
That's right. That's right.
you can, I mean, if you have the right mindset, you can correlate and combine enough information to be dangerous in any situation, I think. And specifically like the cybersecurity stuff, that's pretty much the name of the game. It's like figuring out in abstract ways how to correlate and gather information and put it together and create a story in order to
Mhm.
figure out what exactly happened. And you can do that for good reasons and you can do that for bad reasons, right? And that's why like PII is a big deal and stuff like that. But I think the thing that people fail to understand is like a big majority, even it's funny when you're on the base and you're talking to military folks and working with military folks and they're like, yeah, we can't buy stuff from the Chinese because of this and that and security
Yeah.
reasons. And I'm like, go in the NEX or the PX or the BX or wherever you are on base and
Half the
walk through
trash.
there and tell me what isn't made in China.
Right.
So yeah, it's
Yeah. But then we got to buy like Lenovo's and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For our offices that are like, I can't recall how much. I think we paid like $2,000 each for
oh yeah.
every Lenovo that we purchased that went in our office. I was like the asset manager, right? And I had to sign off on this trash and do the contracts and all that trash. And I was just surprised. I was like, I can go down to the Walmart and get this same freaking thing for like $500, and we're paying $2,000, $2,500 each for all these. You got to pick them up by the pallet load and then sign off for each one via the serial numbers and all that. It's crazy how much the government spends on all this trash too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can definitely go out to the NEX, MCX, AFES, anywhere, and then see half the shit in there is made in China, made in
Yep.
Taiwan, whatever.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to this here real quick. Let me share the screen. I'll be joining in on this Veteran Coaching Network. This one's run by one of our past guests on the Military Retirement podcast, Luke Medvegi, and he's getting together a bunch of speakers to kind of give some leadership classes and all that stuff. A bunch of the speakers here, and it's completely free for anybody who wants to join in. If you're not in the area, you want to do it like virtual, completely free. He asked me if I wanted to jump in on it. I'm like, free training, free learning, hell yeah! So it's cool. It says Veteran Coaching Network brings leaders together to sharpen strategy and execution. This edition focuses on multiplying team capacity, protecting performance with sustainable habits, escaping reactive cycles, and accelerating learning. You'll get concrete frameworks, leadership mindsets, and simple operating routines you can deploy immediately, whether you lead operations strategy or a growing team. You'll leave with proven plays used by leaders who've delivered under pressure on missions and in boardrooms. Easy day, and then you book your place up here, and then it's general admission is free, virtual only, easy. So I'll put that in the comments. Anybody who wants to jump in on that, completely free. And we might even see each other there learning together. So here we go. Paste the summit. If you want to jump in on that, it's on December 20th, 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And who knows? They reached out to me about being a speaker on there at some point in time. So maybe that will happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Time will tell. What the hell would I talk about even?
Everything. Transition.
Transition, right? Hell yeah. So yeah, man. 2020. What is your 2026 mission? Is the name of the of today's live stream, and I'm really curious to know what folks out there in the comments. Please post it up. Do you have a specific thing that you want to get into in 2026? Maybe you haven't been working out as much as you wanted to. Maybe you haven't been reading as much as you wanted to. Maybe family time is something you want to concentrate on a little bit more. Post it up in the comments. What do you want your 2026 mission to be? Shout out to Tony Slaughter. Welcome back to the chat, man. Awesome to have you here, buddy. Navy Cop says, I did 9 years in cybersecurity a few years ago, network analysis and program support, and it surprises you what can be done these days. I've been hobbying in computers since 1979. Hell yeah, man. It is surprising, dude, especially with this whole AI stuff coming up. I should probably put that on my list too, man. Learning a little bit more of AI and how it works, because that seems to be like the wave of the future. Dude, I was just in LA not too long ago, maybe last week, and I was at a fucking red light next to a car with nobody in the driver's seat. And I'm like, what? It had all these cameras up around it, right?
Yeah.
And one of those self-driving cars. And kind of scary. I'm like, I don't know if this thing veers into my lane or something, like, what do you do? Does it even know to stop? Like if there's an accident? I don't know. But kind of weird. At a red light, and I look over and I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, that's the way of the future, man.
Yeah, I mean, and not only just looking into it, but trying to incorporate it somehow into your daily workflow of things. Like how can you leverage it to better improve whatever you're actually working on, and trying to just dig into it every single day. That's kind of the key to get ahead of the power curve, because that's most people jump into it, they'll play with it, and they'll be like, oh, this sucks, not knowing that like 3 months from now, 6 months from now, it's going to be 10x better than it was 6 months ago when you tried it, when it was drawing extra fingers on the picture that you ask it to draw. Yeah. And then you pick it up, a few months later, and you'll realize that the technology is just continuing to go boom, 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 boom. It's a non-linear, very hockey stick path for technology, incremental technology updates, incremental technology improvements.
It's never ending, man. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. I'm looking at
Robert Luna.
Yeah,
Robert.
We got Robert Luna, 2026, close on the land and start the homeless veteran project. Dude, Robert, you are doing awesome things, dude. Excuse me. Got a little choked up there. You're doing awesome things, dude. I really want to thank you for being a part of the community, a part of the veteran community, and looking out for folks. So Robert, anybody out there who doesn't know, Robert runs AL to LA .us, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Robert. But this man walked across the United States in support of veteran mental health awareness. And now he has some land over in, I believe it's Alabama, and which he's turning into a kind of a veteran project, veteran shelter of some sort. I might be butchering it, but you're doing awesome stuff, dude, and I really appreciate it. I'm glad to have connected with you, and I look forward to joining in and seeing how this project flourishes, how it grows, and really maybe take a trip out there one day. Yeah, AL to LA. There you go. AL to LA. Awesome. Shout out to Kyle Mason Mains again. Work-life balance. Absolutely, sir. Bro, JAD life is wild at times right now. JAD is Judge Advocate Division. I can see how it could be wild, man. I got out right in time before it became too wild. Oh man, we got John on the line here.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, my bad.
Pull that back down. Sorry. Oh, you put it up. Okay, I thought it just popped up there on its own. Cool.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
I thought it was somebody that was joining in on the on the chat.
It is the website.
Okay, so yeah, AL to LA, Operation Iron Ruck, marching to honor something. I can't see. You scroll down real quick.
Yep. Give it maybe it's, I think it's frozen. Because I am
All right,
scrolling.
we'll,
It's not
we'll
doing
come back to it.
All good.
We'll come back to it. All good. All good. But yeah, man, it's 2026 mission, dude. It's about identity and purpose, about building practical systems, not consuming or not overwhelming ourselves with too much, right? Like if you want to go work out and maybe you haven't worked out in a long time, first step is to wake up. Next step is put on your workout clothes. Next step is go and do something for like 10 minutes. Of course, the Amazon guy is here. My dog is going insane. I don't know if you can hear in the background.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, that's little steps equal big steps, right? Little steps. So that's the big thing. And it really hit hard when I'm like, I just stopped. I just let the complacency take over because I feel like I got like lazy. And I'm like, man, what's stopping me from actually like hitting the gym? And for several weeks, it was like, I'll just knock out a couple of push-ups and that's my workout. Or I'll just do a walk and that's my workout. But I'm like, I know myself better than that. And I'm like, well, this is not you, Vic. Let's go back to square one and see where we're cutting corners and how we can become better. So now it's about waking up earlier, first thing in the morning, drink some water, just hydrate, go to the gym. Because after that, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if anybody else feels this, but I mean, it's a great feeling after you hit the gym, man. Get a sweat in, lift a little bit something, run a little bit. It's a great freaking feeling, at least to start the day. At least the worst part of the day is over at that point, right?
Yep. Lifting
heavy stuff. So let's see here. Kyle Maines, let's see. Started developing a warrant officer development program, 52-week course to replace the Army course we've been saying is good enough and making it actually what we actually need. That's good. That's good because the Army course that we go to is in Charlottesville, Virginia. And we're kind of like piggybacking off the Army stuff. And, they teach good things, but it's very Army centric. And we always kind of like, we're like the redheaded stepchild, like, hey, get what you can, as far as these courses, get what you can and whatever works for you. And then we'll have our breakout sessions, etc. So I'm glad to see that Kyle is actually doing something with that, because for so long we were like, this course is good enough for us, because there's like 150 Army warrant officers there. And there's like, I don't know, 20 of us on the Marine side. And for so long, we were like, we got to do something about this, but nothing ever happened. So I'm glad that, Kyle, you're stepping up for that. Let's see. Robert Luna says, yeah, one step at a time. Yes, my friend, you are absolutely correct. Tony Slaughter, welcome back, dude. I've been using Grok and it's pretty cool. Your workouts should feel like a hit of PCP after you're finished. Well, yeah, I guess. I stopped taking the pre-workout stuff. For so long I was taking that. And you put the powder in the little shaker, you drink it, and it makes your freaking face tingle and your body tingle.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't want to continue putting like foreign crap in my body. Just natural stuff, so trying to stay away from all the trash, See, we got here Sergeant Stacking. Man, welcome back, dude. What's up, Vic and John? Great to see you. Awesome to see you, buddy.
What up?
Good having you here. Lady Soldier. What's goody in the hoodie, fam? Hey, it's all good here. Welcome back, Lady Soldier. Good to have you. So yeah, today is all about the 2026 mission, what your mission is for the new year, and actually just getting it started, And I've been on a consistent routine of working out, and I'm dreading the idea of hitting the gym again come January, because I know it's going to be full. And we got all those New Year resolution folks that hit the gym for like 2 or 3 weeks and then they drop off. And I know it's going to be full. And I hit a sweet spot in my day where I go to the gym, and there's only like senior citizens there. So I'm like, this is perfect because they don't use the bench press or anything. Like they're on the machines, right? Elliptical, or they're walking. And I'm like, so it feels like I got the gym all to myself almost. But then come, January 1st, they're all going to be bombarding the freaking gym. Not looking forward to that.
No.
Yeah, man. Real quick, I want to shift into something real quick. And 2026, I'm looking at traveling. I'm already like kind of getting some plans ready with the family on where we want to go, what we want to do, where we want to see. I think a big one of it is going to Europe. We're talking about Ireland and Scotland. I've always wanted to go to Scotland. I love the way it looks on photos. Never been out there before. I've only been to Ireland, like just at the plane terminal coming back from deployment. And it's not like you're seeing Ireland really, right? You're just like standing in line. There's a freaking mile long line to go get a Guinness poured at the Ireland, whatever, the Dublin airport. I know Eric's Percussion and Kyle know all about that, right? That whole line. But 2026 is going to be a big year for travel. And I recently teamed up with this organization, this company that this Army captain is starting, active duty Army captain, and it's called EB Travels. All right. I want to give this guy a shout out here because I know he's working his butt off trying to get this thing off the ground. EB Travels here, Space A Explorer. So what it is, here, let me go to the webpage here. What it is explore and track Space A flights. So instead of going to like Facebook pages to find the terminals and all that stuff, this dude created this thing, this website, and I think it's going to be an app as well. Just a one-stop shop for Space A travel. So those of us who have used Space A travel, exactly how hard it can be sometimes. Trying to figure out who has space, what terminals are going or flying from where to where. So let's look at it here. Explore flight database. This is pretty cool because it says he updates this thing every 20 minutes. So I don't know how he does it. He's got some kind of algorithm or whatever typed in there. So let's say you want to go to the East Coast and you want to go visit some family somewhere in the East Coast, explore flights, and it comes up all these different things like Joint Base Charleston, going to Joint Base Andrews on the 15th, which is in 2 days. No seats available. Wrong. Yeah, Dover to Pope Field. I don't know where Pope Field is, but
It's in North
29 seats
Carolina.
available.
Poor Bragg.
North Carolina. So schedule source, you click on that and it takes you to some page over here and tells you their departures, Pope, Norfolk, whatever. So he has everything it's built in here seamlessly, right? So pretty cool stuff. Like for me, for instance, if I wanted to go, I don't know if there's any going to like Hawaii. I know we go to Hawaii quite often, but Travis Air Force Base to Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, no seats available, and this is a 30-day schedule. So, well, page not found, whatever. We'll see. But it's pretty cool. And then he also has a terminal sign up on this too. So what it is, it says sign up for multiple terminals with one form. Here's an example of the email we send for sign up. Here's the email. Below Space A available travel request for so-and-so. Please register for travel. So he sends his stuff out to the terminals, right? Depending on what terminal you want to go to. So pretty cool. And I also get texts about the upcoming flights that I want, that I sign up for. Like if I'm going from the West Coast to Hawaii or Europe somewhere like Spain, it will send me texts and emails if I wanted to. So pretty cool. Track flights by email, stuff like that. It'll send it over to you. Awesome. And if anybody's interested in this, I think he gives like a 50% discount or so using code Green Logbook. So if you want to try it out, check it out. Use code Green Logbook if you want. Pretty cool feature just to kind of try it out. And I know I'm going to be trying it out because this year is going to be the year of some space age travel, especially with like the sign up cost. I think you only had to pay for the fuel surcharge. It's like $29 or so.
Yeah, depending on where you're going, what kind of machine you're taking. It can be anywhere from 0 to like 20, $25.
Hell yeah.
28
So
bucks maybe.
So the cool thing is this dude named the site after his daughter, EB Travels. So let me put that on there. EB Travels for oh shit.
You're good. Tony Slaughter, just to kind of dig into your question, he's asking about if anybody can tell him about a website where he can check on information about supply check-ins and such from years ago. Specifically,
supply check-ins, like what? I know Tony's been asking about this, but I don't know where to send him exactly, because I think the best way to do that is to contact the supply or whoever the office that you're looking to get into directly. I know he's trying to track down some records for back in the day. And
I mean, it depends on branch of service, right? Because every
Right,
branch of service has got their own way of doing it. Like the Army, for example, they've got a consolidated database, and if you have a CAC still, or if you have a DoD login, what's that login called? The secondary DS login or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You can actually still get back in and access some of that stuff. And it should still be there, but it depends on the service. It depends on the site where you got to go. And if you've got the login capabilities to get to it, because usually you have to have a CAC or a DS login or something that'll get you into the military login system, the same kind of one that you use for like your DEERS updating and some of that stuff.
Okay, he's trying to find supply chits at Paris Island. I'd honestly contact the admin section directly at Paris Island.
Maybe they could look it up by DoD ID and pull the records.
Right. So that'd be my first stop, man. I don't know if you've already tried that. So I know I mentioned about records management. So there's a whole records management thing in the Marine Corps and the Navy, right? We fall under the Navy. And they revamped this a few years ago. So they only keep the records for a certain amount of time, so as to not overwhelm the system with unnecessary files. So it could be that they don't have those records on hand, and you may, depending on what the record is, it might be with the National Archives, because we have to send that out. And those are usually sent out or kept for like 75 years in DC. So, and then they get destroyed. So you may have to go that route. I'm not sure if what you need is a FOIA. It rates a FOIA request. So there's different routes. Specifically, I don't know exactly what you need, but my first step I would take is calling the administrative section or the supply section over at Paris Island. Let's see here, EB Travel. Let me make sure I'm giving everybody the correct code here for EB Travels. EB, let me see. Of course. I gotta keep that's another thing for 2026, man, is like reorganize my stuff, my files, dude, because this trash is sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, right?
Yeah, a lot overwhelming.
Yeah. Okay, so it is a 20% discount off of EB Travels using code Green Logbook. Okay, let me see. Let me put it on there for anybody who wants to try it out. Percent off EB Travels.
I'm gonna go pop smoke, man. I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow morning your time, afternoon, evening my time. Go feed some animals and fix some dinner and things like that.
Sounds good, man. Well, good having you on, man.
Yeah, man, it's good to talk to you again. And yeah, we'll chop it up tomorrow morning.
Are we having a guest tomorrow, by the way?
Let me double check. I don't think so.
Or you can just shoot it to me on a text. That's fine.
Yeah, I can look. I'm pretty sure we have nobody scheduled.
Okay, that's fine.
Nope,
We'll
no guests.
it's just gonna be us two then. Awesome.
Yep.
We'll make it happen.
That's right.
All right, brother. Good seeing you, man.
Take it easy, man. Have a good one.
You too. All right. That was John, my co-host for the Military Retirement Podcast. We go live Sundays at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Sunday. We've been doing it for approximately, over about a year and a half now. Great dude. So if anybody wants to jump on the live stream, here is a link to the live stream. Let me know what you got going on for 2026. Maybe it's changing a habit that you didn't like about yourself in 2025. Maybe it's implementing new habits. Maybe it's like Veteran Broken mentioned, having a little bit more patience, which I damn sure know I can use a lot more of. But specifically for me, it's about identity and purpose. It's about practical systems, building practical systems in place so not to overwhelm myself with too much, right? I like to write, and maybe I'm not writing a full page at a time. Maybe I'm writing a couple lines or a paragraph. And I've been doing that for quite some time already. So maybe just adding on a couple more lines, a couple more thoughts. So just easy ways to implement and ease into things into your new year. And then kind of realizing real life friction points, like working within pain limitations. You know, a lot of us have VA disability ratings. A lot of us have real pains that we deal with every day. So working within those limitations, working within time constraints, working within family time, working family time into our calendars to be more present, and, you know, finding out how to use discipline over motivation. So Lady Soldier says, that sounds like what I'm trying to do, dealing with my issues with professional assistance and focus. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sergeant Staggin says, I would like to jump up, but I'm hitting the road. Maybe another day, brother. Hey, absolutely, man. No problem. Just happy to have you here, man. Is there a new skill, folks out there? Is there a new skill that you're trying to learn in 2026? This is big too. So the whole idea with this is getting better, 1% better every single day. So is there something that you want to get into, maybe that you've never tried before? There's organizations like Guitars for Vets where you take lessons with them. It could be online or it can be in person. And you take lessons with them, and after so many lessons, they gift you a guitar with a case and all that stuff. There's organizations like One More Wave, usually around the coast areas, you know, like in San Diego. I don't know where else they have them at. But you go, there's a potential to get a custom surfboard made for you, as for folks, for veterans with disabilities. They take you out surfing. They have meetups all the time. So are you looking to get into a new hobby? Is there something that interests you that maybe you haven't done before? Try to go skydiving. What are you trying to do? I went to the VA just the other day, and for my appointment, came across a group that was just hanging out at the VA there, and they were playing these flutes. And, you know, it sounded nice. It kind of, piqued my interest. And I went over there and asked them about it. And they're like, yeah, we meet up once a week, and, you know, we just learn how to play the flute. I'm like, that's freaking awesome, man. Let's, I ask questions. I'm like, can I do it? They're like, yeah, sure. Just come during this day, this time. And if you commit to 8 sessions, we'll gift you a flute. It's like a handmade flute. I'm like, hell yeah, man, I'm there. So things like that. I guess I'll be a flute player this year too. Let's see here, going back to the comments here. Lady Soldier, since I like to learn different things all the time, always in class, seminar, I signed up for Coursera and taking different certifications. Coursera is awesome. It is great. And a lot. Are you getting the courses for free? Because there's a lot of organizations out there, veteran organizations that can actually pay for these courses. They pay for the Coursera membership. So I'm a part of one, and I think maybe USO as well. You know, they may have a connection with Coursera, but you don't understand if you're a veteran and you're transitioning or anything like that from military to civilian. A lot of times you don't have to pay for Coursera, so understand that. Connect with the veteran organization, and they will pay for your courses. I know I've gotten a ton of those done while I was transitioning from the Marine Corps to civilian life, completely free. Yeah, let me see here. I will get you the info right now. Okay, so I went through an organization called Veterans Transition Support, and they got me the Coursera. Here, let me put it up on the screen here. So yeah, if you're looking to get info on or advance your skills with certifications or anything like that, Veterans Transition Support, VTS, is the one I went through. No cost Coursera right there. It's veteranstransitionsupport.org. And essentially what they do is when you log into your Coursera, there's a little drop down on top by your name, and they will say VTS, Veteran Transition Support, and they have specific courses kind of separated for veterans. So business management, engineering, technology, healthcare, process improvement, IT and tech support, how to enroll. Let me see. Free Coursera courses for veterans and military spouses get 1 year free Coursera access with Veterans Transition Support. 5,000 courses and certificates, top universities and companies, 100% online, self-paced. No orientation needed. So very cool stuff. Definitely connect with them. Awesome organization. I think they're based out of California, but definitely check with them. Yeah, right here, San Marcos, California. Definitely check with them. Awesome folks. And they also give classes in person too. If you're in the Southern California area, check them out. Actually, going back to the comments here, Tony Slaughter, thinking about with a passage of time, you really have no idea how fast it really goes. Yeah, you don't. You don't. 1 December, I hit 2 years retired from the Marine Corps, and it went extremely fast. I did not realize how fast it was going, and even looking at my kids and how fast they're growing, and they're going to be out the house pretty soon. You know, so time does go by fast, and you got to think to yourself, what am I going to do with that time? Am I just going to sit around and not do anything with it, or am I going to make a plan and execute and be as efficient as possible with my time? You know, time is finite, so we have to do what we can with our time. And I'm really trying to identify what I'm building and who I'm becoming in 2026. I'd like to continue building the Green Logbook. I'd like to continue building this thing up because I think it's a good resource for veterans. Just kind of going off my own experiences as well. I like to try things. I like to get into programs and try different things, and I like to kind of review those things and tell everybody else and let everybody else know the good and the bad of it. So that's what I'll be doing. I want to continue building this channel. I want to continue building this Veterans Coffee thing. Realistically, I'd love it if it was in person, you know, sitting at a VFW somewhere or an American Legion somewhere and just having some coffee and talking to folks. But, you know, if I want to connect with folks across the country, around the world, then, well, I can't really do that. Just like we just heard from John here. John was, he's actually located in Sicily, you know, by Italy. So it's not realistic for me to sit down with him and have some coffee, but we can always meet on the live streams, on, you know, via text and all that. So the question of the day, what is your 2026 mission? What do you want to get into for 2026. Lady Soldier says, since I've been in survival mode for so long, I'm going to focus on mental health. I really can't do much else now. Yeah, little wins add up. Little wins add up. So focus on that, and then afterwards, when you get that in check, you can move on to something else. And again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a licensed therapist or anything like that. I can't really tell you what to do or where to do, and et cetera. This is just a place for folks to talk, to come together, and to kind of put out different ideas. To come together and share some coffee and some camaraderie. So if you're just joining, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really helps in getting the Green Logbook in front of other veteran pages, in front of other veterans' YouTube homepages. And the idea here is to share in some coffee and share in some camaraderie with like-minded folks. Find your tribe again. If maybe you feel like you need some direction, maybe you feel like you need a little bit of camaraderie, somebody to connect with. It may not be me, it may be somebody in the comments or whatever, but this is a place to do it. So please consider liking and subscribing so it gets in front of more veterans out there. Let me see here. Tony Slaughter says, going to clear my name, and after my case comes to an end, I'm going to use recovery to get the rest of life in order. Excellent, man. I'm glad you're going to get it in order, dude. Little steps lead to big steps, man. I truly appreciate that. Sergeant Stacking, man, I truly appreciate that. That's awesome. Shout out to you. Keep the channel going, brother. This is good for us military vets. I will share you out of my channel and get some more good folks over there. Excellent. I truly appreciate that, man. Yeah. Just a great way to connect with folks, man. It really is. I enjoy doing this. It gives me a purpose in my morning and purpose in my day too. So surrounding myself with like-minded folks who maybe want to get better. And that's one thing I will be doing, is getting the folks who maybe are not good for me in life, maybe are holding me back, maybe have that complacent mentality where maybe they don't want to grow. I'm removing that from my circle. I'm removing them from my circle and being, I need to focus on number one, and that's me. And I need to focus on the family, and I need to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with folks who will help me get 1% better every day. And I do the same for them. So enough with the folks who hold you back. Surround yourself with people who will lift you up. Sergeant Stacking, what is the name of your channel? Yeah. We just got a comment on here. Please share the name of your channel, and I will share it here on the screen. Tony Slaughter says, the little steps you speak of are called Kaizen in Japanese. Absolutely, little steps. Kaizen, I have it written on my whiteboard right here. Continuous improvement in all aspects of life. You're correct. Continuous improvement in all aspects of life. Do you know where Kaizen came from? The origins of Kaizen. I know they use it a lot in like the Toyota plants, like the factories out there, constant improvement. Samurai, yes. Constant improvement. I love that. There's a good book called Kaizen. I read it years ago. I can't even remember too much about it. I got to get it. I got to either purchase it and put it up my shelf or what, but continuous improvement in all aspects of life. And along with Kaizen, I'll also bring up another Japanese concept that really worked out for me. As far as like finding my purpose and all that, it's called ikigai. It literally is pronounced ikigai, right? Ikigai, and it is the concept of a reason for being, a reason for being. Um, there's a book on it called Ikigai: The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, and it kind of overlaps a little bit here. Let me pull it up and show you. Um, and this is how I kind of found what I wanted to get into and what I wanted to do. All right, Ikigai. There you go. It's what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. And then within those, they kind of overlap, like your passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession. And in the center is you. That's your ikigai. That's your reason for being. So what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, what you're good at. Um, I'm curious if anybody has looked at this and found what their ikigai is. Comment, put it in the comments here. This is a very powerful thing, and I've gotten classes on this stuff. Um, let me see if I can find it here. Of course, that they don't have a large photo of it, but excellent, excellent. If you can find what you love, if you can find what the world needs, something the world needs, if you can find that you can be paid for it and what you're good at, you can find your reason for being right there. This is a good diagram for purpose. Ikigai. Tony Slaughter says Japanese culture in the old school sense was working with small details and then becoming better. I was always impressed when I lived out in Japan for quite some time. I was stationed over in Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni, Japan, for about 3 years. And during that time, we went out and we explored a lot. My wife taught a little bit of English to a Japanese family, to the kids of a Japanese family, and we became friends with that family. The dad was a high school teacher. I can't recall what the mom did, but very cool. And it was always impressive to me how they just really honed in on a certain craft, right? There was like woodworking. There was, the one dude, the teacher, he was just like immersed in that. He loved it, and it was very admirable to be around that. Somebody who like wants to master his craft or her craft. It was very cool. Let's see here. Sergeant Stackett, if you could share the name of your channel, man, I really appreciate it. I know you brought it up here. We'll get the name of your channel out to the world. Onegashima. Is that the name of your channel? Onegashimasu, or are you speaking Japanese? I know that's Japanese, but wondering if that's the name of your channel too. Navy Cop, first time I heard that specific concept. I like that. Yeah, Ikigai is an awesome concept, man. Finding out your purpose, and that's how I found my purpose after leaving the Marine Corps. I'm still working, I'm still fine tuning it, but at least it gave me kind of an idea of where I want to be and what I want to do. I'm doing what I love right now. I feel like the world needs this, like other veterans need something like this. I feel like I'm good at it, right? I may suck at it, just let me know. But I feel like I'm all right at it, and can I be paid for it? I don't know. I'm not going to ask anybody here for money, but I am looking for sponsors and stuff like that. So can I be paid for it? Sure, I can in some way. Sergeant Stacken says 90% of precious metals community I'm part of are vets and or huge supporters, highly involved in fundraisers for the Wounded Warrior Project. Awesome. So yeah, subject of the day, what is your 2026 mission? The Kaizen mentality. Yes. Give me a second, folks. I'll be right back. All right, we're back at it. Back at it. How's 2026 going to change for you? Let's hear it. Put it in the comments below. So first off, I know I'm going to be drinking a whole lot more water because I'm tired of getting damn headaches. Let's see what I got here. Get some messages on here. Going to focus on health and wellness, training for function and not to punish my body. You know, those days are kind of behind me now, right? Working hard to punish myself, to kind of try to get the results I want faster. No, I'm actually training for function now, for longevity now. So my real mission is, just keeping track of my weight so it doesn't get out of hand. Continuing with strength training because I feel like that's essential as I get older, right? I want to be able to stand up and walk without using a cane or a walker. Focusing on pain reduction and mobility. You know, the blood pressure. I just went to the VA. They did all that for me. Focusing on mental health, my energy. What are some of your biggest barriers when it comes to health and wellness? You know, is it time? Is it pain? Is it motivation? Is it the snacking too much? Is it stress? Is it like lack of sleep? You know, what's your biggest barrier there, and how can we fix that a little bit? You know, is it sleeping? Is it going to sleep a little bit earlier? Is it maybe like Navy Cop? You know, trying to get that Medcline pillow to help you sleep a little bit better. You know, it's Navy Cop, man. I hope you get that pillow, dude. It's pretty damn good. You know, I'm sleeping like a damn baby at night. You know, I hope that you get it ASAP, man. Maybe it's soon. Maybe it comes for Christmas. I don't know. Then let me see. What about mental fitness? What about your maybe doom scrolling? Maybe that's something that you wanna change. For so often, I found myself on my phone anywhere I went and just kind of scrolling, right? Um, that had to stop, and I had to cut it out cold turkey. I had to cut it out, and I just went ahead and just deleted the apps, the social media apps on my phone. I think all I have is YouTube Studio to keep track of that stuff and of the analytics and all that. But I had to cut it out of my life, man. And I'll be honest with you. Once I did, right afterwards, I got that fear of missing out, that FOMO, and I wanted to go on there. And every so often I check, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. I took it off my phone. Yeah. Well, after a while, I got used to it. I can only access it from my desktop. And usually I'm here at the desktop all day, every day, not all day, but I'll pop it up every so often and I'll take it back down. I don't have to be on it all day. But yeah, doom scrolling. That's a real thing that takes up a huge chunk of your time. I wanted to get rid of that trash, so I just deleted the apps off my phone. Easy as that. What about reading? Anybody else out there? Are you a reader? Are you looking to get into reading anytime soon? Is that your resolution for 2026? For me personally, I'm starting off with a 2026 reading mission. It's 12 books a day, or 12 book a day. What the hell? 12 books a year for the whole year. I'm trying to reach 20 pages a day. Okay. It could be, usually it's a mix of audiobooks and actual reading. I prefer the reading, but if I'm out walking, I don't want to miss out on that. So I'll throw on an audiobook. Weird enough, I'll listen to like audiobooks while I'm working out. And it's a mix between that and like just music. But, but yeah, a book a month. A book a month is what I'm trying to do. And I'm starting off with this guy right here. I couldn't contain myself. And I read last night right here in my reading chair. Read 23 pages yesterday and just highlighting all that stuff. It's good stuff. It's called The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. I'm not sponsored by this guy or anything like that. It's just, I've heard a lot of good things about this dude and the books he's writing. And I'm a sucker for stuff about wars. I'm a sucker for stuff about ancient Greece or ancient Rome. So that's how the book starts out. I won't spoil it for you if you haven't read it, but it starts out pretty damn awesome. So definitely keeping that on my reading list, and I'm looking to finish that one off by the end of January. And then moving on to The 48 Laws of Power by the same author, Robert Greene, which, funny enough, that book is banned in prisons across the US. So you read about it. You just Google it. You'll see. I'm going to be doing a lot more writing this year, and I'm curious out there if there's any writers out there, people who like to write in their journals. I find that when you write in a journal every evening, it just lifts a weight off your shoulder. It helps you release all the stuff on your mind. You might be angry about something. You might be happy about something. If you're angry about it, write it down. It's funny how all that lifts off your shoulders, all that weight lifts off your shoulders. And for me, I had a lot of trouble writing. I've written for the last 20 or so years while I was in the Marine Corps, and I always used those green logbooks. But I'm like, you know what? Let me wrap my notebook up in something nice. So I bought this leather journal cover, and I use a nice pen, and it's just kind of a joy writing every evening. I sit here with, I got my banker's light on here. You got to make it comfortable for yourself to want to write. So that's huge. Let me see. Go into the comments really quick. Sergeant Stacking says, I've been sober for 2 years. Now in 2026, I want to drop weight, focus on health physically and mentally. But most importantly, I want to strengthen my marriage and relationship with my kids. Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. First off, applause to you for being sober for 2 years. Okay. Huge applause for that. I love that you're focusing on dropping the weight. I love that you're focusing on your healing and physically and mentally. That's also huge, right? Because that will mean longevity for you. That will mean longevity with your kids, with your family. They'll have you around for a lot longer as long as you focus on number one, yourself. Excellent, man. I really do appreciate you sharing that. And huge applause again for being sober for 2 years now. Sergeant Stack, and again, also want to strengthen my relationship with God. I guess that's my main mission for 2026. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. I mentioned I'm not a overly religious person, never really have been, but I just kind of stumbled on that because I needed to fill a void within me, and it's a strong void. You want to fill your cup with something useful, not like doom scrolling, not anything else. So, what better way than to turn to that? Serve a purpose greater than yourself. And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of folks I find out there have that missing thing within them that they cannot identify. And for me, it was the spirituality of it. So, what does that look like? Does it just mean going to church every Sunday? Does that mean setting aside time for Bible study or prayer, meditation, or just being out in nature or anything like that? Uh, it's not about a specific religion. It's just about getting out there and finding something that works for you, and doing it consistently. Right, being disciplined enough to do it consistently. Of course, the dog. Whenever I get somebody dropping off a package here, all these packages are coming for like Christmas gifts and all that. So the dog's barking now, and of course, little Chihuahuas like to yap and all that. So, see, Navy Cop says if you are into Greek mythology, check out Stephen Fry's series, "The Greek Myths Reimagined: Mythos, Heroes, and Troy." Navy Cop, man, you are speaking my language, man. I love that stuff. I just purchased the Odyssey. Um, Somewhere up here, I got the Iliad. Um, but I love stuff on ancient Greece, not specifically like just the mythology, but ancient Greece, ancient Rome. Um, this is on my reading list as well. It's kind of a thick one, but whatever, you'll get the idea. It's Leonardo da Vinci by Walter Isaacson. This guy writes some good stuff on here, but looking forward to that. Leonardo da Vinci was a Renaissance man, and there's a lot you can learn from him. Yeah, and there's a lot I can learn from him. So I love to read old stuff like that. Whatever it is, I can say we aren't as lucky as Anthony from Texas. He lost his freedom over a fish fillet sandwich. So yeah, working on relationships and family, 2026. What relationship in 2026 needs my attention? Is it my wife, my kids, my friends, myself? I need to identify that. What does showing up look like in my house? I need to identify that. What's one boundary that I need to protect for my own peace of mind? I need to identify that. And there's a lot of stuff I see out there with folks who maybe have troubles financially, maybe are struggling during like this time of year. So a big thing that I focus on and things that I'm teaching my own kids. I'm not a financial counselor or anything like that, financial advisor or anything like that. So I can't really give financial advice. I just know what works for me and what has worked for me and my family. But really, I want to expand on that, right? Continue investing, continue building on that. So what does your 2026 look like financially, right? Are you looking to pay off debt? Are you looking to continue saving or investing? Maybe adjusting your budgets or checking out your benefits, stuff like that. So these are things, I'm just throwing things out there that maybe you need to think about or you'd like to think about, put it on your list for 2026. Is there anything that you would like to automate this year? A lot of my stuff is automatic payments to the mortgage, automatic payments to the bills and all that stuff. But is there anything else that you want to automate this year? I always tell folks when they ask me, like, hey, what's one thing I should do when I'm leaving the service? I talk to folks on LinkedIn. People ask me, just when I talk to other veterans out there, like, hey, like, you're retired, what should I do? What best practices? And I tell folks, hey, best thing I ever did was get out of debt way before I was even retired. Like 5 years before I retired, completely wiped out all the debt. So that allowed me to focus wholly on investing and saving for my future, for my future, my family's future. And I'll put this out there for folks. I'll put it in the comments. We got Sergeant Stacking on the line. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, hanging out, man, living life. Woke up this morning. I feel good about that.
Good. Yeah, it's always good to wake up, right?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, dude, I got like 10 minutes before I got to go get my haircut, but I just wanted to say thank you for what you do, man. I appreciate the conversations you have, and the platform you got to fill that void that a lot of veterans have. You speak a lot about the benefits that a lot of people don't know, so it means a lot.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it really comes from the heart, man. I really, I feel like I've acquired some stuff, some knowledge, and I'm like, I cannot keep this to myself. I got to let other people know about this. I just wouldn't feel right if I kept it to myself. I appreciate that, dude.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I just real quick, my channel name is just SGT Stacking. My actual name is Oscar. I served a little bit over 10 years in the Corps.
Okay.
I served from 04 to 15. I'm from Chicago originally. So
It's cold out there, man. I went out to Chicago a year ago. It's freaking freezing, dude.
Yeah, dude. We woke up in -7 right now. I was like, man, it's cold, dude.
Oh,
But yeah, man, I
man.
appreciate you, dude. One day, I'd love to do like a little podcast. I bet you, you were talking a lot about being out there in Iwakuni, right? I never got to go,
Right.
but I know a lot of people that have. And what I've realized over the last 10 years that I've been out, the Corps is a lot smaller than we think. And I've been running into a lot of people that know somebody that I know. It's always somebody. So
It is very small, and I realized that. I was watching that Netflix documentary, Marines, following the 31st MEU, I think it was, and when they're briefing the colonel on the boat, I worked with one of the lieutenant colonels there that was briefing the colonel. I was like, and I met immediately. I thought that was my first thought. Man, the Marine Corps is small.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, man. Are you gonna go get a high and tight? What kind of hair?
Nah, I don't get high and tights no more, man. My hairline is so far back now. That don't work no more.
You and mine both, man. I started out like right here, and the stress, dude. The stress.
Yeah, for sure, bro. But yeah, we do a little medium fade out here in Chicago. That's it.
That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, same, dude. I just let my hair grow a little bit. I was cutting it a little bit, and then I figured, let me see what it ends up like. Just trying to cover up a little bit of the skinny up top, man. That's it.
I hear you, brother.
Short hair, man.
Well, you guys have a good one, and again, thank you very much for letting me up here, brother.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, definitely. I'll put your channel name. It's just SGT Stacking.
Yes, sir.
Your YouTube channel. All right, awesome. Yeah, I'll put it up in the comments here.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, you too, man. All right, awesome. See, I love that, connecting with other folks out there from across the country, man. From Chicago. That's awesome. So his channel name, YouTube channel. SGT Stacking, Sergeant Stacking. Check him out. Definitely check him out. So I'm going to put this up here. Just a couple things for thought. Number one, just three targets. Three targets. Number one, if you can improve only three things in 2026, what are they? And three, or number two was, which one is the keystone habit that would make the others easier? And number three, and remember, we don't want to rush into this stuff, right? We want to do slower, kind of, we want to make sure that we're considerate with what we're doing. So number three would be, what would progress look like by March or June or September? Little progress goes a long way. So, and I want to let folks know too, before I get off out of here, is that you are not, after leaving the service, you are not your rank anymore. Okay, that's a hard thing. It was a hard thing for me to accept for a long time. You know, I was always the chief warrant officer that people relied on. I always had the answers. My phone was always ringing. People always coming to my door. Hey, sir, I got a question for you. Can you help me out with this? Or I don't know. Where can I find the reference for this? Where can I find this? I was always the go-to guy. Okay, and that's what I knew. And it took me a long time to kind of understand that, hey, I am no longer in the military. I have retired from that life. I'm now in my next chapter of life. You know, I have to learn how to fully transition over to becoming an effective civilian if I'm going to be an effective civilian, essentially. So I'm no longer my MOS. I'm no longer an active duty chief warrant officer 3 in the Marine Corps, right? I'm no longer that rank. However, I have learned a lot of good lessons. I have learned a lot of best practices from being that, from being in my MOS, from being in the Marine Corps, from being a Marine. So I'm going to keep that. Okay. So the questions are, what part of your military identity are you willing to keep? And what parts are you releasing in 2026? And what do you want to be known for now? You know, are you still going up and introducing yourself as Sergeant so-and-so or Petty Officer so-and-so? Or I used to be this, or I used to be that. Or are you introducing yourself as, hey, my name is so-and-so? You know, just some food for thought, things that I need to work on myself with. And I'm sure that there's other folks out there who maybe are thinking the same thing. Navy Cop says, number one, health, wealth, and mindset in no particular order. Excellent. So that was the question. If you could only improve three things in 2026, what are they? Health, wealth, and mindset in no particular order. Question number two. Question number two, which one is the keystone habit that would make the others easier? Number two, your answer is health leads it all. And number three, what would progress look like by March, June, or September? They work hand in hand for me. Small positive steps in all areas. Focus on health are the indicators. Yeah, I think you're on the right track there, Navy Cop. Health is the keystone for a lot of these. For those of us who are retired, or for those of us who have a VA disability benefit payment coming through or whatever, if you don't keep yourself healthy enough, you will not be able to benefit from that later on in life, right? If you wanted to buy a house down the road, if you don't keep yourself healthy enough, you may not be able to purchase that home that you wanted, or if your kids want to go to school, you may not be able to to be there, is what I'm saying. So you want to make sure that you are healthy enough to benefit from all those things. So with that, hopefully that has kind of opened your eyes a little bit to some things for 2026, some changes that we should make, some things that we should think about. I'm not a college professor or anything like that. I don't give classes like this often, but I do write a lot. And I do a lot of thinking. I literally sit in that chair behind me right here, and I just stare at the wall. I stare at this wall, and I just think, and I come up with ideas, and then I write those ideas down, and thoughts, and I write those thoughts down, and that's what sparked today's conversation. You know, what is my 2026 mission? So thank you all for listening, for connecting. Thank you all for jumping on the live stream, for comments. Shout out again to Sergeant Stacking. Awesome to connect with him. And real quick before I go, Navy Cop says, I don't introduce myself as petty officer, but I do believe there is a clause in the retirement contract where we are required to tell sea stories until death. Just ask anyone I know. I hold to that. Hey, you know, when somebody opens that bag and they start talking about deployment stories or starts talking about TAD stories or just dumb crap, it's fair game, man. It is. Like, I come in with my stories too. Hey, dude took a beer bong off the 3rd floor at the barracks. It was insane, you know. So it's fun. It's fun. I mean, that's a part of our life, right? So I'm not saying never let it go. Just you know, it's about being an effective civilian now. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for joining me. With that, I think I'm going to go enjoy my Saturday and work on family time now. So I appreciate you all being here. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you're still listening. It really helps putting this channel out in front of other veterans who maybe want to build that tribe, the camaraderie, things like that. Make sure you stop by. Tomorrow we're doing a live stream. John and I, he was on the live stream earlier. We do a live stream on the Military Retirement Podcast. And you can watch it from here, the Green Logbook. You can watch it from the Military Retirement Podcast channel if you'd like. But we just talk about relevant military topics. So that's going on tomorrow, 8 a.m. Sunday, every Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You will see my face again. So thank you all for watching the Green Logbook out here.